Hello and a warm welcome to everyone. My name is Faisal and I'm the Assistant Marketing Manager here at Kilde, a regulated investment platform that connects accredited investors to high quality private debt opportunities. Today's episode is all about scale, impact, innovation. And I'm thrilled to be joined by Tushar Aggarwal, founder and CEO of Stashfin, one of South Asia's fastest growing fintechs with a bold mission to drive financial inclusion across the region. Under Tusha's leadership, Stashfin has grown into a trusted digital lending platform offering seamless tech-driven credit solutions to millions of underserved customers across India. Tusha, it's great to have you here with me and we can't wait to know more about Stashfin. Tusha, please.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Right. So can you introduce yourself and share a brief overview about Stashfin?
Kai, my journey started in 2002 after I finished graduation at the University of Stony Brook as an engineer. I started my career with Goldman Sachs in New York and Lehman Brothers investment banking also in New York. And then I was investing with a firm called General Atlantic
Mhm,
across North America and India. There I had a chance to meet some pretty smart entrepreneurs, the passion and the vision to build my own business. I
mhm,
went to business school to Wharton, the Wharton School of Business. After that, I worked for another private equity firm called Everstone. And then
mhm,
2016 is when the business got started. Our
mhm,
mission is to use technology to offer financial services products to our consumers in India. And currently, we offer three products. One of them is our flagship credit line product, which is a consumer loan we offer to salaried consumers across India. We also offer a savings opportunity where people can invest into bonds. And then recently we started an insurance brokerage platform as well, where people can buy bite-sized insurance products from our platform, stashfin.com.
right. So there's lots of history going on back there. And what actually inspired you to find Stashfin and what were the challenges in India's lending space?
So, first of all, I had a chance to meet with very smart entrepreneur in Everstone and
Mm-hmm.
really was inspired to kind of start my own business where I felt I could make a difference in people's lives.
Mm,
But personally, for myself, I grew up in a middle class family. I kind of knew that small amounts of money, which the banks don't lend money to typically, can really make a difference in people's lives.
right,
When I
exactly.
moved back to India for almost 2.5 years, the
Mm-hmm.
banks did not give me a credit card
Right.
because although I had many credit cards in the US, most banks saw me as new to credit or
Mm.
perhaps risky. And I really felt that by offering a small amount of money, people who are creditworthy, we can make a difference in their lives.
That sounds like a great opportunity. So, I mean, since 2016, how has Stashfin evolved and what were the milestones that you're the most proud of?
So, in terms of scale, we have about 60 million users who have applied for credit with us so far. We have given out almost $3 billion in credit to consumers across the country. And we have been profitable ever since we got started. So, every single month since we've been in business, we've been profitable. We've been very judicious with other people's capital. In terms of metrics which I'm personally proud of, one of them is obviously the impact we made in people's lives. We currently have nearly 5 million users who we've approved money to and are active consumers of our platform. One of the metrics which I'm very proud of is our technology stack. Currently, we're about 170 people. We are probably 10% or 5% of any bank in the country. We're fully digitized and fully automated, which is a metric I'm pretty proud of because those cost savings by using technology, we can pass it on to our consumers. The benefits of one we can pass to our consumers.
Great. And did I hear that correctly? 5 million users.
That's right, yeah. 60
That's
million
amazing.
application and 5 million users.
That's amazing. And I think at this point of time, right, Stashfin, how does it stand apart in this competitive consumer finance landscape? I think we're in an era and generation where there's loads of lending services, fintech companies popping up in India. How does Stashfin stands out amongst its competitors?
So our key is to make sure that whatever products we offer, they cannot be bought somewhere else. Which what that means is that we will never sell a cookie cutter product to our users. It has to be something which is customized and is really a value relative to our users. So our main credit line product, which is the flagship product we have, is not a consumer loan. It's a credit line we offer to our users. There is no annual fee. There is no commitment fee and users can borrow as little as 1,000 rupees, which is about say $15, or actually now about $12, and can also borrow up to $2,000 if they choose to. whatever amount of money they borrow, they can pay interest on only their drawdown. And
Mhm.
if they choose to pay it back early, let's say I took a loan from us and then I got a better deal somewhere else, a bank perhaps, pay it back early with no questions asked. So
Wow.
it's really a
Okay.
product with there's no hidden fees, no charges apart from what people agree to pay as interest charges. And it's very convenient and flexible to our users.
Exactly. Sounds great. And I think in this generation especially, lots of, I would say, people who want to do borrowing, right? They're actually looking for transparency, and I'm definitely seeing that in Stashfin. So, I mean, looking at this, right, how would Stashfin actually support financial inclusion through your credit scoring model?
So about 30% of our users are women. And we also have a program for the Indian Army, so soldier in the Indian Army, which is
Right.
about 20% of our base of users who typically are not serviced very well by traditional financial institutions. We're very proud to be servicing a set of users which typically banks and NBFCs would not service, or if they were to offer them services, should typically have very high fees or interest rates or very high ticket sizes. So this is a base we're very proud to serve.
Great. And what are actually the key drivers behind your recent growth and valuation? I've seen Stashfin grown so much since 2016. What are the key factors towards it?
So we reported profit about 12 million US dollars this year.
Mhm.
Last year, I think they were close to about $5 million. And the year before that, it was a little bit less than that. This is a business which is sustainable. We are fully regulated, Kai. So we are regulated by the Reserve Bank of India,
Right.
which is the central bank. We also have listed debt, which means we also are regulated by the securities regulator in India. And then we purchase, and we have great auditors. We have a EY is a big four auditor in Singapore and India, which also gives us the credibility we think we deserve, given that we've been in business for quite some time.
Right. And with that being said, Tushar, how do you manage credit risks while scaling rapidly?
So credit risk is a center point of how we make decisions. So our decision making framework is based on return on assets. So every time
Mhm.
we give out loans to consumers, we are calculating and figuring out how much money we'll make after credit losses. So one of the metrics we look at is affordability. Are we making our products affordable to users? So I'll be very happy to report that our consumer exposure per person is probably the lowest in the industry, which is about $500 per user. We don't believe in, let's say, giving very large ticket loans to our users in order to maximize our cost of operations. We believe that making the loans affordable is very important. The second
Mhm.
metric we're very proud of is our interest rates. Our interest rates are about one third compared to credit cards in India.
Mhm.
So we offer probably more features and convenience in a credit card, but our rates are about one third. And the third is that we require our users to be working with some of the lender before they come to us. We believe that having some additional financial discipline is important. So our users need to have a minimum credit history of about 2.5 years, have to have successful track record of repayments with other banks or NBFIs before they become eligible for our loans. So these will be some metrics, and there are many more which will define our credit risk policies.
That sounds super amazing. And you did mention it's only one third of a credit card interest rate. And looking at it, I'm seeing Stashfin is not discriminating at all to any of audience profile. You're just opening up your arms to all of this audience. That's really an amazing background. So, I mean, looking at all this audience profile that you have at this moment, right? Can you share some examples of how Stashfin lending has actually positively impacted individuals? Any examples to share? Any individuals to share?
Yeah, quite a few. So one piece is that look, as a responsible lender, rates are less than 2%. So the number of applications we get, not everyone gets approved, unfortunately, but a very set number of people get approved. Let me take the example of the Indian Army. The soldiers in the Indian Army, they have this unique problem where they get an allowance which is based on hardships, based on where
Mhm.
they posted, but they will only get the allowance once a year when they're going
Mhm.
on leave to their hometowns. They have a working capital problem, but they get the money from the government at the end of the year. Typically, they only get it sort of in 1 month, which means they have working capital issues during the year. Also, for some reason, they won't get a salary in the month of March, but they'll get two salaries in the month of April. The way the processing of the salaries happen for certain employees in the Indian government services. So this is one example where people who have regular payments, they have tuitions to pay for their kids, They have to pay, obviously pay for the rent for their family back home. Working capital solution helps in bridging the gap. A lot of customers are not looking for a long-term loan. They need some flexibility in order to bridge their financial needs. Consumer who I can't name because I don't have the permission
Understand.
is unfortunately deaf and mute, and they can't speak or they can't hear. So
Hmm.
if they were to be applying for credit in any sort of bank or places where they have to kind of like listen to speak to or call up someone, they unfortunately won't be serviced very well. They use our app to apply for credit, and they've been a great performer since we've been working with them. It's been close to about 5 years. So there are many such examples, some very heartbreaking, some very heartwarming.
Right. Tusha, that's some great examples you have shared from the Indian Army to people who are deaf and mute. I think that's an amazing journey that you've actually have done through for these individuals. Especially, we all do struggle in certain point of times. We want to pay tuition for our kids, our children, and sometimes we are just not given access to this. And I think Stashfin has actually done an amazing job creating this, I would say, avenue and platform for all these individuals. And with that being said, right, what trends actually do you foresee in the fintech across emerging markets?
So one of the big trends is that people want flexibility. We have designed a product where we can fit in with other financial products. So our product is not a one size fits all. So we want our users to have a credit card, a personal loan, maybe an auto loan, maybe a mortgage. We are not looking to have 100% coverage over all products with our users. We believe it allows people to have flexibility. It also has better financial discipline because in the event that say they cannot pay us on time, then the credit score and the credit bureau gets impacted across all lines they have with other lenders. So I think one
Mhm.
big trend we are certainly seeing is flexibility people would like to have. The second area we're seeing is with this geopolitical solutions around the world where it's unclear how AI and other sort of trends will impact
Right.
the marketplace. We believe that we should keep exposure per user a little bit lower. It's unclear, what jobs people will have, say, 3 years from now, 4 years from now. So we're currently experimenting with certain tools, and we've seen almost, I would say, 300% productivity increase when the machine is stepping in and making the tasks, in some cases, much more enjoyable because they're taking care of the very repetitive, mundane tasks which currently people are doing.
And I think right now the main topic at this point of time is mostly AI stealing jobs. I would say like automating stuff. So it's a case whereby will AI actually take over our jobs or will AI actually benefit us? And I think that has been the running conversation for years, especially with ChatGPT coming up, Sora and all this, Gemini. Lots and lots of people actually covering this topic. So fair enough point. And I think next up, I think one thing I also like to ask would be what's that one piece of advice would you give to investors when evaluating opportunities in private credit?
I'm not sure if I'm in the position to give advice, but I would say that we are a responsible lender, fully regulated. We've been around for close to 8 years,
Mhm.
have been profitable. We have been backed by some very high quality investors, including folks like yourself. We have capital from the family office. We have some marquee investors in Singapore, Hong Kong, who spent a lot of time diligencing us before they came to us and gave us their very hard earned money. And we feel very obligated and very grateful for the support. And to investors who are looking to back us, we're very happy to work with you and answer any questions you may have. But we are in the business of consumer credit. We think it's a massive opportunity in India. The penetration for credit cards, as an example, is only 3%. So only 3% of the country has credit cards
Mhm.
compared to, let's say, 85% in Singapore. So it's a long way to go where we can say tap out the market, and we're very excited to be in this market.
Absolutely. Right, Tusha. And I have one last question, and I ask this from all of my interviewees, is that if you would be given a time machine and to go back maybe 10 years, back in 10 years in time, and what would you tell your younger self?
Oh, okay, it's a tough one. I think if I were to go back in time, the message I'll tell myself is do it faster and do it quicker. I think that
Mhm.
there were periods of our life where we internally deliberated too much. We lacked the confidence or conviction in our own decisions. And having the hindsight of the last 8 years, I wish we had made those decisions faster and sooner rather than kind of dwelling upon it. So that would be the advice I'll give myself.
All right. Okay. I think that's all the time we have today. Thank you so much, Tusha, for this interview. And I would like to say it was a great conversation. And yes, thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.